The air crackled with a silent question the moment Liam stepped closer. I was still fixated on the modern chandelier when his hand drifted near my spine, a casual possessiveness that sent a shiver down my back. Part of me, the reckless part, yearned to see where this unspoken dance would lead. Now, before we continue, a quick hello to those tuning in. If you're a regular here, you know the vibe, hit that subscribe button. And if you're new, welcome to the deep end. You've stumbled upon something interesting. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. The apartment whispered with the echo of our footsteps on the gleaming hardwood. My heels clicked softly as I led the way, my digital notepad ready. The silk of my blouse brushed against my skin as I moved, a delicate whisper. The air inside hung still and slightly cool. My gaze swept across the ornate crown molding, the designer light fixtures, my focus sharp. Behind me, Liam moved with a quiet confidence, offering snippets of information. The generous square footage, the breathtaking view, the superior insulation. Standard agent spiel. I jotted down a note about the updated heating system, then something about the excellent water pressure. Peering into the walk-in pantry, angling for a better view of the shelving, his voice, smooth as velvet, reached me. "Those earrings are stunning, Maya," he murmured. "They really catch the light." I smiled, not turning. "Thank you, they were a gift." A beat of silence. Then, as I entered the spacious living room, "You have a captivating voice, you know, it resonates." I glanced over my shoulder, my pace steady. "I hear that sometimes." We continued our tour. I inquired about the thermal windows. He answered with precision. "You carry yourself with the grace of someone who's seen beautiful places," he observed as I moved into the elegant dining area. This time, I met his gaze directly. "That's an unusual thing to say." His eyes held mine, unwavering. "Not intended to be." I let the comment slide. My fingers gently lowered one of the sleek blinds. Another note on my device. Back to the task at hand. He gestured toward the master suite. Expansive windows framed a lush view of the trees beyond. I walked to the far side of the room, where the soft sunlight painted the glass. "This has potential," I murmured, more to myself than him. He watched me for a beat longer than necessary, then nodded toward the hallway. "Let me show you the updated lighting fixture in the hall." I went first, stepping into the narrow passage. It felt more confined than I anticipated, minimalist in its design. As I stood beneath the modern fixture, tilting my head to examine it, a sense of quiet intimacy settled around me. A floorboard creaked softly behind me. Then his voice, a low rumble just behind my ear. "You truly would transform this space, Maya." I didn't turn. I remained still, facing the wall, the air thick with unspoken words. His presence behind me had shifted, the earlier reserve melting away. And I lingered there, the hallway silent at my back. It felt even narrower now, as if the walls themselves had inched closer the moment I stopped. His voice shifted again, a quiet nearness. It had been calm before, but now the air between us vibrated with a different energy. I lifted my hand to the light above, turning my wrist just enough to study its design. "It's brighter than I expected," I said, my voice even. He didn't respond immediately. Instead, I felt the subtle change in the atmosphere. He stood silently, intimately close. Then the featherlight touch, his hand briefly resting at the small of my back. "Apologies," he murmured. "Narrow hallway." I remained still. The air in the hallway felt warmer now, charged and silent. I turned my head slightly, catching his gaze in my peripheral vision. He wasn't looking at the fixture. "You would make this space feel like home," he repeated, his voice deeper this time, the meaning subtly altered mid-sentence. I didn't offer a polite smile, didn't engage in playful banter. I looked directly at him, only him. He didn't break eye contact. He didn't step back. I could have taken a step forward, shattered the moment, dismissed it as nothing. But I didn't. I remained rooted, uncertain whether to move. His hand shifted almost imperceptibly, a movement easily overlooked. My chest tightened, my breath grew shallow. A quiet tension coiled within me, focused and alert. He was closer now, just a breath away. I was acutely aware of his nearness, even without physical contact. I didn't retreat. "Is this all right?" he asked, his voice a low murmur. I didn't respond verbally. His hand rested briefly at my side. I turned toward him. Not abruptly, just enough. Enough to meet his steady, clear gaze. His eyes didn't search mine. They were locked, certain, unwavering, already holding an answer I hadn't voiced. And when his gaze flickered toward the end of the hallway, I moved with him, understanding without a word. I paused near the hall's edge, the silence between us a tangible thing as he closed the distance. The stillness deepened, neither of us breaking it. No words were needed, just a profound stillness shaped by the confined hallway and the weight of everything unsaid. He leaned closer, his expression intense, watchful, not forceful. I felt the quiet emanating from him more than any physical pressure. I remained silent, unsure what I was waiting for. A subtle tremor of anticipation moved through me, not sharp, just undeniably present. I tilted my head almost imperceptibly, offering no words. His fingers brushed my sleeve, a gentle adjustment, then lingered. Without conscious thought, my own fingers found the edge of his tailored jacket. He remained beside me, quiet and still, a mirrored reflection of my own stillness. We weren't speaking, just existing in a shared rhythm. The moment stretched, suspended, like something significant hung just out of reach. It caught me completely off guard. Natural, unexpected, yet strangely familiar. We stood in comfortable silence, our timing inexplicably in sync. My hand remained near his shoulder, maintaining the close proximity. I leaned in just a fraction and he met the movement instantly. His hand settled at my waist, a steady, grounding presence. Something within me hesitated, a moment of weightless uncertainty, waiting. We both felt it, the magnetic pull of something neither of us dared to name. He remained close, his presence a solid anchor beside me. As my fingers grazed the edge of his collar, he shifted with me, a subtle accommodation. The warmth between us intensified, drawn forward by an invisible force. The hallway behind us dissolved from my awareness. All that mattered was his nearness and the fading significance of everything else. His jacket slipped from my fingers and fell silently behind him. The silk of my blouse had shifted, now loose across my shoulders. I didn't adjust it. I only tightened my grip on the back of his shirt as he paused near my collarbone, the space between us shrinking with each passing second. He pulled back just enough to look into my eyes. One hand remained at my waist. The other reached lower, not to pull me closer, but to offer a steadying touch. A silent question in his movement, as if verbalizing what we both already understood would be redundant. I didn't step away. He gently guided me toward the window. The cool glass pressed against my back through the thin fabric, a grounding sensation. My shoulders settled against it. He stood directly in front of me now, his hands calm and certain, while the rest of the world seemed to blur around the edges. The warmth between us escalated quickly, not rushed, but undeniably present. My arms found their natural place behind his shoulders, drawing him closer. His hands remained at my waist, anchoring us in the stillness. We didn't need words. The moment spoke for itself. His hand moved near the edge of my sleeve again, his fingers tracing the delicate fabric where it had slipped. I let it fall naturally from my arms, unnoticed in the intensity of the moment. He didn't look away, his gaze following the curve of my shoulder as the space between us dissolved. Nothing felt hurried, nothing needed to be said. He leaned in with intent, not desperation. His presence lingered near mine, each subtle shift feeling inevitable. When his face brushed against the sensitive hollow beneath my shoulder, I became aware of my breath slowing, a natural, unconscious response. Sunlight streamed through the window beside us, catching the strands of my hair and illuminating my face, turning the stillness into something luminous and suspended. He leaned in further. My hand remained around his back, a gentle hold. His steadiness never wavered. His free hand rose again, a slow, deliberate movement, mirroring the unfolding of the moment. When his hand settled against my side, just beneath where the fabric had fallen, I leaned toward him instinctively. Not out of urgency, but because it felt undeniably right. A soft breath escaped my lips, unintentional, almost silent. I remained close, grounded in the weight of the silence between us. His own breath hitched, a soft inhale, then stillness. One of his hands remained a steadying presence on my back, while the other hovered near my waist, not demanding more, simply existing in the moment. My fingers found their way to his hair, settling there with a gentle possessiveness, keeping him near. Without speaking, we shifted almost imperceptibly, adjusting to each other's presence in real time. No practiced moves, just small, intuitive adjustments, each one mirroring the other. He murmured something I didn't quite catch, and I offered no verbal response. I simply rested my cheek against his temple, lingering there, unhurried. The windowsill creaked softly beneath me as we found our shared balance. Not desperate, not slow, but brimming with an unspoken understanding. His breath warmed the skin of my shoulder. Mine followed, quiet and steady. My grip remained firm. His arms tightened around me just a fraction. I leaned in, and he was already there, already solid, already still. I tilted my head back slightly, my eyes closing on instinct. For a timeless moment, I didn't speak, I didn't move. And in that profound silence, everything else faded away. Now, be honest. If you were Maya, would you have waited or said something first? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for listening.